Hey ladies, welcome back to my second video. If you missed the first video, I encourage you to go back and watch it to get a little bit of background knowledge on me and why I'm here. Ultimately, I'm here to help women who are struggling with their mental health, bring awareness to anxiety and stress because it is a normal part of our daily lives, and give you some techniques, some strategies, and some tips to help you cope with it. If any time during this video you feel connected to me, my story, or you feel that I'm really helping you, please fill out the application below so that you and I can have a one-on-one conversation and we can together set a roadmap for your success and so that you can be in your best mindset. I also ask you to like the video and subscribe so that I can see that as feedback that what I'm doing is actually helping you. All right, I did promise that throughout the next few videos, we are gonna talk about my strategies that I've written in my blog. So my blog is 10 strategies to manage your mental health. And I did promise that we were gonna go through the strategies, which we will. Today, I wanna talk to you about the 4 rules that you have to follow before you begin these strategies. You have to follow these 4 rules in order for the strategies to be successful. Congratulations, because you are here, which means you are taking steps to become a better you. You're here because everything you've done up until this point hasn't been working, or it hasn't been working well enough. If you are someone who needs to see a doctor, please do so. Sometimes medicine, doctors are the only thing that can really make a difference in our lives, and you need to understand that it's okay to get help. That is nothing to be ashamed of. I have, and it has truly helped me. However, besides seeing a doctor, these strategies are things that I do every day in my life to help change my mindset, okay? If you can change the way that you view the world, view people, view relationships, the way you perceive other people's perspectives. Don't let those small things internally get to you. If you can change that mindset, I promise you every day of your life, you're going to be a happier, more optimistic type person. I've always been somewhat of what I say, a pessimist, a little bit negative. I always feel like I've jumped to a judgmental conclusion, and I refuse to be that woman anymore. I have been using these strategies for about a year now. It did take me a full year to get to a point where my mind naturally does these things now. I don't have to think about it. I automatically find myself reacting to situations in a positive way using these strategies. I'm not saying it will take you a year to get there. Everyone's different, everyone's anxiety is different, and everyone's mindset is different. I was struggling with my health problems at the same time, figuring out that I was celiac, and ultimately I think those go hand in hand, and it escalated and made my anxieties even worse, which made them even harder to overcome. If you're looking for an easy way out, turn the heck around, girl. This is not it. You are going to have to challenge yourself. You're going to push yourself. This will be hard and you will feel silly at times, but it is so important. How bad do you want it? If you're here, I can tell that you want it bad enough that you're reaching out and you're ready to go. So here is rule number 1. Ready? Rule number 1 is consistency is key. You have to be consistent. The hardest thing is going to be the first month. The second hardest part will be the second month, and so forth. But I promise you, the longer you stay consistent, the easier your mind learns to do it naturally. Don't give up on yourself. Push every day. I know you can do it. I've recently read a book, Relentless by Tim S. Grover. If you are looking for someone to push you into that mindset, I highly recommend it. I listen to it every day at the gym, first thing in the morning. It really gets me in the zone, in that mindset of you are a boss. You can do anything. You just have to want it, and you have to take the steps to be successful. No one will give it to you. And I highly recommend you listen to it. He also does something in his book that I am going to borrow or steal, and that is, he says there's no such thing as rule number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so forth, because when you label things that way, people only read number 1 as the most important rule, and that's just not true. So every single rule is going to be rule number 1 because they are all important, and you have to do them all equally and with equal amount of care. So here's rule number 1. Let someone in. This is probably one of the most difficult rules for many of us who struggle with anxiety. I know for me personally, my anxiety, I've always been a bit ashamed about it. It is nothing to be ashamed about. No one should make you feel bad for feeling bad. Sometimes it's not your choice. You can't control your internal emotions. You can't control your perspective always. You might have those thoughts, and then your control comes in the reaction to those thoughts. However, no one should make you feel bad for having those initial thoughts, okay? But find someone who will be there to support you and that you can open up to. It is really hard to kind of let out your most internal fears and your most internal stresses and voice them, but I promise you, it is like lifting a weight off your chest. For me, that person is my husband. He's really allowed me to talk about things that might otherwise be uncomfortable. We've had a lot of deep talks about why I have this anxiety, where it comes from, what my triggers are. The most important thing when you let someone in, though, is you need to have that difficult conversation with them about what did they do when you were having an attack or an episode. I like to call them episodes. So if you're having a panic attack, an anxiety attack, if it's that severe and you're like me, that happens on a regular basis, and there are certain techniques you have to cope with it, you need to let that person in. Or if there are things that they can do, talk to them about it. I know that when I'm in the middle of an attack, I can't use a voice of reason. I can't explain to my husband, this is how I'm feeling, this is what I need. I'm too panicked, I'm too manic. So by having that conversation, when you're in a good spot, when you're in a clear mind, it allows you to open up more and kind of reflect on how you feel at that time and what they can do to help you. For my husband, it started out that I told him, anytime that you see me just slumped, sometimes I have anxiety attack where I physically cannot get up. I'm like in bed, I need to be in the dark, I can't talk, I don't want to socialize. I just lay there. I don't even want to watch TV. I just am there, being there. I've told him sometimes I need him to push me to get up and get out of bed. So there'll be days where he'll say, get up, we're going for a walk. We don't have to talk, we're going for a walk. And like getting my body moving, getting that exercise, or just getting the blood flowing or changing my environment allows me to help start to change my mindset. And I come out of that attack a bit faster. Instead of closing in and staying where I am, you have to force your way out of there. If that's not something that works for you, there are other ways to do it. I've also told my husband sometimes all I need is a friend. I just need someone. So if I'm laying, my spot tends to be like, find a place that's really closed in, kind of secluded, kind of soundproofed. So for me right now, that tends to be my closet. Sometimes I'll go crawl in there with a book or a blanket or a pillow, and I just lay and kind of relax and be alone. There have been times where my husband will crawl in next to me and he'll just lay there. He doesn't come to bother me. He doesn't come to, make me feel bad about it, but he just comes to be present with me so that I realize I'm not alone. There is someone else here. And as soon as I get that courage up to start the conversation again, it kind of breaks me out of that. So he knows what he can do to help me, and it's been really beneficial. But it is very difficult. It is hard to let someone into your deepest thoughts, sometimes your deepest secrets, the things that you feel most guilty about, and talking about those things can get them off your chest. If you don't have someone in your life that you can open up to, I highly recommend looking into talk therapy. I have tried it, And just having someone, it's a secret, no one's ever gonna know, but just being able to say some of these things out loud, even if you're just talking to yourself, start saying these things out loud and really just bringing awareness to what you're struggling with. Rule number 1, hold yourself accountable. Hold yourself accountable. No one else's job is to take care of you. That is your job. It is your job to know what you need and to give that to yourself. For me, I know that I work out 6 out of 7 days a week. And this is because I hold myself accountable. For me, working out in the morning changes my mindset for the entire rest of the day. My blood is flowing, I'm awake, I feel energized. I've worked out those initial thoughts that hit me when I first wake up, or that celiac tummy that I wake up with. Going to the gym is so important. But I've tried working out 5 days a week and taking the weekend off. And for me, when I take 2 days off, it makes it really hard to go back on that third day. And that's just me. So I know that I can only take 1 day off. Even if some of the days at the gym, I'm not working out that hard, I'm there, I'm present, I'm pushing myself, and I've allowed myself to enter that mindset. So figure out what works for you, find a routine, but hold yourself accountable to that and try not to slip. You are going to fail at least a few times. You are going to make mistakes. You're going to have to restart. This is not easy. This is something that you have to train your brain, your mind, your body to do. So start now. You have the power. If you need help, please fill out the application below so you and I can have a one-on-one phone call and start making a plan for your success. Rule number 1, don't be too hard on yourself. It is okay to fall out of routine. It is okay to have a bad day. It's okay to have a bad week. But what are you doing to change that? Are you sitting saying, I'm having a bad day, so I can't do anything, and then wallowing on the couch? Give yourself an hour, give yourself 2 hours, but then set a time that you're gonna get up and you're gonna start this process. You're gonna get up that day and you're gonna force yourself out of it. It's okay to have a hard time, but don't stay in that hard time. Force yourself. If you miss an entire day, if you eat horrible for an entire day, don't the next day starve yourself to be the healthier version of yourself. Just say, it's okay. Today was a mental health day. I needed that in order to be successful tomorrow. Look at it through a positive mindset. Don't look at it and say, I did bad. Think of one thing you did really well today. One thing I did really well today, actually, I was at the gym and I was listening to some music and a song came on that usually kind of makes me feel like emotional. I keep calling it FOMO because we haven't had music festivals in so long that every time I hear this certain song, I get like homesick. And it's magical, but it makes me feel almost like alone because I'm not where I want to be. I'm not traveling. I'm not out in the world right now. However, I could have sat there and continued to listen to that song and songs similar to it and gotten into that feel, but I knew that wasn't healthy for me. And I thought, where am I going to end up at the end of today if I continue on this route? So as soon as I noticed I was slipping into that mindset, I got on my phone, I found a different song, and you're going to hear some of these songs in the next video tomorrow. So I hope you've listened along. And I changed my mindset, and I have certain songs that get me in a zone kind of, that help me kind of ignore those deep emotional anxieties that I have. They're thinking about the things I've done wrong in my life, the things that I haven't been successful at yet, or the relationships that I'm not proud of yet, or that I'm still working on. I have songs that take me there, but I also have songs that take me out of it. And so I'm using those songs. And as soon as I notice I'm slipping, I put it on, and it was like, by the time the song was over, I was at the gym like, pumping iron, girl. Get it. And then my next transition is I'm actually on my second read of the book Relentless, and I'm probably going to read it at least 7-8 times. So then after I got into the zone, I turned on Relentless, and the rest of my workout is just the book in my head, getting me motivated, pushing me. And every day that I listen to that book, I genuinely feel like it changes the way I think the rest of the day. And it gets me where I need to be. So use those exterior factors to hold yourself accountable and say, what can I do right now? Even if it's the smallest thing, what song are you gonna put on in order to help you get there? If you're laying down under a blanket, hiding from the world, think of the one song that makes you feel the complete opposite of that and blast it. And then get your booty up, girl. You've got this. If you are someone who connects to me, connects to my story, you're ready to take control of your anxiety, your stress, turn your life around so that every day can be a happy day, please subscribe, like this video so I know it was helpful. Tune in tomorrow for my next video where we're gonna go over strategy number 1 and fill out the application so that we can have a one-on-one call. Stay tuned for a little sneak peek of tomorrow's video.